Hey there, just been doing some sessioning here, some serious sends on some sick features here in my office. And since the cameras are rolling, I figured we'd take an opportunity to share with all of you fine folks what I am using in my mountain biking photography bag. So for those of you who enjoy a bit of cycling, whether you're into mountain biking, road biking, gravel, whatever your medium of choice, you'll know that trying to join hobbies, it can be a challenge for many reasons. And the biggest challenge we have as athletic creatives is that of weight. If you race professionally like I do, you might obsess over every single little ounce of weight in your kit, and unfortunately that means that taking large camera bags full of heavy lenses and cameras and a multitude of other peripherals is just not going to work. But not rolling out with anything can also be extremely painful, since for me, I'm a photographer first, a professional award-winning slopestyle mountain biker second. But not having the right gear to grab the shots with that I would normally want to capture in nature gives me a sense of loss and frustration. For a while, all I took along with me was, like many of you, the phone. But I just found that it didn't cut it for the types of moments that I wanted to capture. Often it's landscapes that I was interested in on the trails, and I wanted something with more pixels, more dynamic range. Also, while the quality of lenses and sensors are coming along with these phones, you just can tell when you're editing a phone photo, it's just not quite there as far as detail and latitude. But more often than not, the number one biggest frustration for me actually was just being able to see my screen on the phone outside in that sun. It was hard to compose. I found myself really missing a viewfinder where I could really feel like I had precision control over my composition with fewer distractions and in a way that felt much more natural to me as a photographer. So I decided to compromise with a small camera setup. Of course, there are many compact cameras on the market, and in fact, I did a video a while back comparing 4 of my favorite pocketable compact cameras that you may have seen. You'll definitely want to check that out if you're also interested in kind of point and shoot compact cameras. But the next challenge, even after I did secure a couple of these, and I will come back to these, the next challenge was that even with a pocketable camera, where do you keep it on your person where it's safe and also accessible? Your pocket isn't a very good option for safety for you or the camera, but on the trails also things happen fast and you need to have quick access to the camera. I found that over and over again, if I had a camera stashed away in a luggage compartment on my back, I just never took photos with it. It was just extra weight on my back. It was too much effort to get it out, and even if it wasn't too much effort, by the time I got it out, the thing that I was interested in taking a photo of was gone and over because things happen fast on a mountain bike. So before we get into the cameras that I've arrived at, I want to show you what my solution is to carrying the camera. So I'll be showing you some gear. I will link to all this gear in the description. Also, please note these are affiliate links that I'm going to link to. So this is the bag I use. This is the Osprey Siskin 12 hydration pack. This has become a strong standard in the mountain biking community for a reason. It is a large bag, but for me it's essential, both because where I live in southern Utah where it gets quite hot, being able to store 2.5 liters of water in a hydration pack is very important. But also, as you'll see as I start pulling crap out of this thing, it needs to be able to pack a lot of stuff in it. I coach my son's mountain bike team, and as a result, with great dad power comes great responsibility. So I have a lot of things like bar ends, things that kids lose. You've really got to have some of these extra, because having a bar end not on the end of the bar is very dangerous for kids who don't need to paint a picture of what could happen if you landed on it. And just other things that are like first aid stuff, even so far as having a splint, just a lot of stuff that we need for trail maintenance. I'm not going to get into all that though, because that's mountain biking stuff. You're here for photography. But I just want to illustrate the fact that this bag has a ton of capacity and it stores everything I need. It even has these cool hip pockets where I can store batteries for my cameras, but also things like power bars and energy blocks. But for all that, the one thing this bag does not offer, indeed the thing that no cycling bag on the market that I've been able to find offers, is the ability to conveniently store a compact camera on the front of you, in somewhere where you can easily get to it. So that's where this guy enters into the picture. This is the Peak Design rangefinder pouch. Now there are plenty of pouches like this kind of belt pouch style pouches on the market that are much cheaper, but I'm a big fan of Peak Design and the quality of their products. Their business is protecting and carrying cameras, and I've always felt like their solutions are extremely well equipped for that endeavor. There are 3 sizes of these range pouches. This is the smallest size and will hold most compact cameras extremely well. For the few slightly larger compact cameras like this one, the LX100 II, you'll probably be better off with a medium pouch, honestly. It will fit into this small one, but only just, but we'll come back to that. The hook and loops that are on the range pouch go in one direction, which makes them very secure, and that's especially important on the back. I attach the range pouch right here on the Osprey, on the left shoulder strap, and this is very secure. You can yank and yank and yank and this thing will not come off, and in spite of all of the abuse I put it through, all the downhill shredding that I do, absolute shredding, this has never come off. The only time this has come off, honestly, since I got it is just right before I filmed this video. So it's very secure. I've never worried a bit about it. And having it just right here at my hip, it's a beautiful thing. I can just pull the camera out, have the battery compartment flop open. No, that never happens. And it's there at the moment's notice. It's a beautiful thing, and I do not have to pull off my pack to have access to my camera, which is the #1 most important thing I need. If I can stay ahead of my boys, I'm able to turn around after interesting features and grab shots of them this way, whereas, again, if the camera was stuck in my bag, it just wouldn't happen. So I'm a big fan of this solution right here, and I recommend it. That's the bag. Let's talk about the cameras that I've chosen. As many of you who watched my compact camera review video will know, I like a lot of those cameras, but the one that I feel is the absolute most versatile for all the various situations that I find myself in is the amazing Panasonic Lumix LX100 II. I feel like this camera is vastly underrated. It has a beautiful 21.7 megapixel micro four thirds sensor, which makes it a bit larger than a lot of the 1-inch sensor point and shoots that are out there, but it also has an excellent zoom range with a 24 to 75 zoom range and a bright 1.7 to 2.8 aperture. The camera does have optical image stabilization, which makes it excellent for both low light shooting, but also for the occasional video shooting, which I do. For those of you hybrid shooters who want the power of a point and shoot, but also excellent video features, which the Panasonic cameras, of course, do offer. They're known for. This camera excels. Beyond all that, it has an excellent viewfinder, which I very much love. It's brighter and more enjoyable to use than all of the other point and shoots that I've tried. Well, for the most part, maybe with one exception. I do love the zoom range, like I said. I like how it handles, and most importantly, I love the shots that I've gotten with it so far. But there are a few gotchas with this camera. It has no built-in lens cover. It's an external cover that you can attach if you want with a string, but it's not ideal. And that's a real concern because these cameras are notorious for allowing dust to get in the sensor chamber. And once that happens, guess what? You're out of luck. You would have to be a technician with some knowledge to be able to tear into this camera, to be able to get to that sensor and clean it off. So that's not great news for us mountain bikers who like to go out in the dust and dirt, and you really need to protect this lens as much as possible. The one good thing, though, about it is that you can attach this little guy. This is the JJC little lens cover. I like this a lot because it will cover it by default, and then when you flip it open, it just opens up. So that offers some protection, but of course it's not perfect. These little things can flap a little bit and move, so that you could still technically get dust in it. And then I've heard that dust can still enter in other places also. So it's just a matter of time, really. But what that does add, unfortunately, also is more girth to this thing. This camera is smaller than like the X100 series overall, but with this attached especially, it is wider, and that makes it so it doesn't really fit in here perfectly. I probably should have gotten the medium capacity range pouch. It'll still work, but you kind of have to muscle it in there and close it at an angle. And it's fine, it still works, but it's not ideal, it's not perfect. So anyway, that's the one compromise for me anyway. But I still feel like this is better than nothing. But more recently, I came into an old, well-loved X100s. As many of you know, I absolutely love the X100V. However, I would never take a shiny new expensive camera like that out on the trails. So for a year or so, I've had eBay alerts on, just looking for good deals on old X100 cameras. And this X100S came up being sold as is condition, with the previous owner saying that it wouldn't read the SD card, the card reader wouldn't work. And so he was selling this thing for only $150. So I decided to risk it and purchased it immediately. And then I just sprayed some old electronic cleaner in there and tried to clean off those points. And lo and behold, it works like a champ now, no problems. So not bad for 150 bucks, and I've been really loving using this on the trails as well. The thing that works better in some ways about this X100S is that it has a slightly larger APS-C sensor. It gives me a larger dynamic range, meaning I can recover those highlights and those shadows a bit better in those harsh sunny 16 conditions. But I also just love those Fuji colors. I slightly prefer them over the Panasonic colors straight out of camera. And beyond that, I just love that I have the peace of mind that this is more dust proof than this one. So I use both of these if I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of video, or I know that I'm going to be doing some more picturesque landscape, where I might want the flexibility of a zoom for some landscape work. I will choose the LX102. But if I'm just headed out with my boys for some quick trails in sunny 16 conditions, where I want the larger sensor, more dynamic range, it's going to be the X100S. But guys, that's my mountain bike photography setup. I hope you found this beneficial in some way, or at very least entertaining. I wish you safety on the trails and luck with your own photography. Remember to do good with your cameras, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Oh, and for anyone who cares, you mountain bikers out there, I love this bike. I just love it. I got this thing at a kickin' deal. My brother does fittings. Those of you who saw the physical therapist that I had on my previous video, that guy also does fitting for a bike shop. So he got me a crazy good deal on this 2019 Stump Jumper. Cool bike, I really like it. I haven't had an upgraded bike in like 10 years. So for my 40th birthday, this is what DENAE got me. So anyway, those of you who care, I thought I would add that here at the end. Anyway, take care.